Blog Talk Radio.
Party crew, keep it real for you. No clothes allowed. Summer party, grown and sexy. Join the party, put summer party. Party crew, keep it real for you. No clothes allowed.
All right, welcome to a Friday night at Pajama Party. I'm one of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
What's with the sound effects? Bonsoir, darling.
I'll give you background.
Ooh, boy.
Give her a free background.
Okay. He's adding reverb and whatnot. All right, well, bonsoir. How you doing tonight, Ketel?
I guess I can't complain. Just trying to stay warm. It's kind of nippy out there tonight. Yeah. How you guys doing?
I guess it's. I'm doing the
Everything's
same.
cool.
I'm about to throw a log on the fire.
I know that's right. There you go.
Everything is everything. How you
I
doing
got
tonight,
some warm
Papa?
cocktails. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'll refill on the break, but anyway, how you doing, Papa?
I'm good. A little tired, but, I'll get through it.
All righty. Well, we got a lot to cover with all of the news that happened this week, and what a week it was.
Yes, it was.
That's all What a week it was. All right, you want to go ahead and jump into the rundown, Ketel?
I sure will. All right, we're going to start with a hot topic, hot off the press, for this December 20th, Friday night at the Pajama Party. We have the White House considers arguing that Trump wasn't impeached. Also, Washington state lawmaker accused of domestic terrorism refuses to resign. And Uber must pass a $4.4 million to settle sexual harassment case. Interesting. Our hit it and quit it headlines. Former French telecom executives get jail terms for harassment. Also, federal study confirms racial bias in facial recognition systems. And radio show canceled after a host said, what? What's popping with Poppa DD? Our weird news tonight. The pranksters charged after home, cars covered in cheese slices. Okay. And Air New Zealand is testing edible coffee cups on board. Okay. And our last weird news, who's there? That's going to be an interesting story. Also, I'm just saying with Redwine, were you passed over or passed on? Living for the City with Poppa DD. My Hollywood wrap-up. The cocktail of the week is an interesting one. I'll tell you more about it later. Our kiss it list and the last word. So sit back, relax, get your favorite cocktail, and we'll be back with the hot topic.
You're listening to the Pajama Party Late Night Adult Talk Show. We've added a new segment to the show called the Kiss It List. Every week, we put people on this list who have done dumb stuff or have been irritating or just gotten on our or your nerves. So we call them out and put them on the Kiss It list, and we tell you why. If you have somebody you want to add to our Kiss It list, hit us on Twitter at @PajamaParty and use hashtag KissIt, and we'll add them to the list. If you prefer to email your contenders, send them to info@apajamaparty.com. We'll call them out every Friday night at the end of the show, so get those names in. Now, let's get back to the Pajama Party crew and more of the show. DJ, would you mind turning it up a notch? Oh, how rude. Oh, you're on the Kiss It list.
All right, welcome back to the Pajama Party. I'm one of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling. it is time for the hot topics. And let's see, Ketel, we're going to give it to you first. Kick it off for us. What's on the hot topics for tonight?
I had to give me this Bama. Well, everybody has been following the impeachment scandal, so to speak. The White House considers arguing that Trump wasn't impeached. Of course, the Senate. The White House is considering making the argument that President Trump has not been officially impeached, given that the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, here we go, has not transmitted the articles of impeachment to the Senate. She ain't talking to y'all. The House voted to impeach Mr. Trump on 2 articles of impeachment, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. However, Pelosi told reporters on Thursday that the House would wait to deliver the articles until the Senate had laid out the rules for the trial. The House must vote on a resolution designating impeachment managers to prosecute the case against Mr. Trump in the Senate before delivering the articles. It just sounds like a bunch of red tape BS to me. It goes on to say that impeachment is contemplated by the Constitution does not consist merely of the vote by the House, but the process of sending the articles to the Senate for trial. Okay, everybody knows that. Both parts are necessary to make an impeachment under the Constitution. Okay. The House must actually send the articles and send managers to the Senate to prosecute the impeachment. And the Senate must actually hold a trial. It goes on to say if the House does not communicate its impeachment to the Senate, it hasn't actually impeached the president. If the articles are not transmitted, Trump could legitimately say that he wasn't truly impeached at all. My opinion, quickly, this sounds like somebody not reading your Miranda rights, so to speak. If they don't read your Miranda rights and they take you in and the judge finds out that that wasn't the case, they didn't read your rights, then they can more or less let you go. So this what it sounds like to me.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, they're saying because whatever the document was not delivered to the Senate, that it's not an official impeachment yet.
Not yet. Mm-mm. And
so even though the vote happened,
right? It has to continuously go through the process, the quote unquote constitutional process. So, almost like, I guess, Bill Clinton, he was, quote-unquote, impeached, but it didn't pass the Senate. So if they don't pass the proper forms and things to go to the Senate, then, they can throw it out, I guess. I don't know. This is pissing me off, really. What you think, Papa?
Well, first of all, this is the first time I've seen, the senators and the Senate and the House do any work at all. They I don't even know. This is the first time I've seen people up close and personal to see who's actually in the House. It's almost like being undercover is like by design. You never know who's who or who's what. And they kind of just played it off. And every time you looked up, they was on vacation. They was gone on their little spring break and all that, and it was just and there were no term limits involved. Everybody's just making moves. But what you were saying, to get back to your initial point, this is supposed to be a process, but this process, just like the president is being accused of violating things, the Republican senators are violating the same thing the president is violating. I mean, it's just a big old bowl of arrogance, And arrogance is really blowing. Trump uses all these examples saying one day there's going to be a Democrat president and the Republicans aren't going to forget, blah, 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 blah. But one day a president's going to do something foul for real, and everybody's going to forget what the impeachment process is supposed to be. And the reason why Nancy is holding on to it now, Nancy is a veteran politician, so she knows the rules of the game. Trump is making up shit as he goes along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you know anybody on your job that comes in like a bull in a china shop and they're brand new trying to be impressive, but they don't know jack about what's happening on the floor, you know? So Trump is making up as he goes along, and he got all these cheeseheads that are going along with him. So what Nancy is doing is that she's holding up her finished product because once the House voted to impeach, now they hold the they got
all the cards.
They got all the cards right now, but the Senate was supposed to set up shop to receive what they have and set up a court. But the guy, what's his name? McConnell has not even begun to do what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? You know, you having a card party and you set up tables and chips and stuff. You know that these old folks over here, they want the blue chips and red chips and white chips. And the Senate hadn't even set up open up the folding tables. You know what I mean? So to speak. And that's why this stuff is going to run until after the holidays. It may run into February or March because the Senate is going to just drag. And then it's not even going to be a process because the Senate already said that once it comes through, they're just going to rubber stamp it. And, you know, McConnell said, that's a waste of time. I'm just going to do my thing and kill it. But, you know, you're not taking into consideration that Donald Trump could actually be crazy. You know, I got something really hot to say during what's popping that's going to blow everybody's mind. So I'm just going to hold on to that for right now. And
all right.
Okay. But, yeah, that's my opinion on it, is that the Senate is not prepared yet. Like I said, if you was having a party, the senators haven't even opened up the folding tables in their ballroom. So that's why Nancy's saying, I ain't giving y'all crap. No, these briefcases are going to stay in my hand with a handcuff on them, and that's it.
Well, that makes sense because she's saying, if I understood you correctly, Ketel, she's saying that she wants to wait until the hearing or something is outlined so that she and the rest of the Democrats understand how are you all, the Senate, going to proceed with this before they give up anything? Because there's still a possibility of trying to subpoena witnesses. And Trump and Mitch McConnell are saying they want this to go quickly.
Yeah.
You know, Trump's saying, look, I have nothing to hide. I'm innocent. That call was perfect.
Trump is meeting with those senators every day. They got some secret meetings somewhere. Believe me, they are. They blowing a dog whistle like you wouldn't believe. That whistle is loaded with saliva.
Well, he sent a group of them up there to Camp David, and he wasn't even there. He invited them to come up to Camp David and hang out.
Man.
I think these were probably the ones who were on the fence or weren't as hardcore as some of the others. So he was like, you know what, go up there and experience
You don't know what
David.
those Bama's are doing. By the time, when they do stuff, believe me, Republicans always been people that live behind the, you know, they always undercover. You know, you have a Democratic Party, you open up the door, you'll see their party right there on the first floor. Democrats, you got to get a special elevator to the 12th floor, then another private elevator to the 16th floor, and that's where the party is. You got to go up 2 elevators. Oh, yeah, that's how they roll. That's what they're doing now. They don't let anybody know what they're doing. That's because they're guilty of sin. It's unbelievable. Anyway.
It's always something.
Relinquish my time. I relinquish my time.
Yeah, I yield to the senator, and I yield back my time.
Yeah, you back my time.
Gosh, I heard enough of that.
I'm going to yield back my 45 seconds to my constituent from Detroit.
Gentleman from Detroit.
He'll have his time. He can have my 45 seconds I had left.
Well, speaking of Republicans that are off the chain, did you all hear about this guy out in Washington State? He's been accused of domestic terrorism, and they're trying to get him to resign, and he's saying, no, I'm not going anywhere, even though there's no disputing of all the crap he's been involved in. So this guy is Washington State lawmaker, took part in domestic terrorism against the United States during, you might remember this, during a 2016 standoff at the Wildlife Refuge in Oregon. Remember that? When there were people that were up there, wouldn't let the government people get in and do what they were needing to do. They up there with armed to the teeth and all of this kind of stuff. He was part of this. How are you a lawmaker and you're involved in all this kind of stuff? His name is Matt Shea, so please put him on the Kiss It list. Representative Matt Shea, he's from Spokane Valley in eastern Washington. He traveled all throughout the West, meeting with far-right extremist groups, condoning intimidating opponents, and promoted militia training by some patriot movement for possible armed conflict with law enforcement. So you out here training folks, egging them on, encouraging, take on law enforcement, all this kind of stuff. This is what this guy was into. So his statement was, it's like we're seeing what we're seeing with the president. This is a sham investigation meant to silence those of us who stand up against people who try to disarm and destroy our great country. I will not back down, I will not give in, and I will not resign. That's what he said. So the investigative team has been investigating everything he's been doing because he posts this stuff all over Facebook. So it's not like he can come back now and say, it wasn't me. You posted pictures and all this stuff of what you've been doing. So they found that they had evidence that he planned, engaged in, and promoted at least 3 armed conflicts against the United States. And these were in 3 different states, including states outside of Washington state. He participated in what is called domestic violence. If you going toe-to-toe with the police and stuff, when they're telling you what you need to do and you're refusing and you're holding police with a gun on them, I'm amazed that this man never got shot. That's number one. How you up here with militia and these trained yahoos out in the West and nobody managed to get shot, but y'all holding rifles and stuff on law enforcement? I don't get it. Maybe because they're not black. Anyway, so they got all this information on what they've been doing, how he was involved in all of it, so they're trying to get him to resign, and he's saying he's not. They even got a post that he put on Facebook where he said, after much prayer, I'm afraid violence may be necessary to take our country back. I'm like, wait a minute, take our country back from who? You are a representative of the government. You represent the country. How are you encouraging people to be at war with the country that you represent? There's a serious problem here. And I don't understand why they're trying to get him to resign. Can't they just boot him out? I mean, I don't know how that works. If you've been voted into a position like he has, he's a representative in Washington State. If they got all this on him, can't they just get rid of him? I don't understand. They're trying to get him to resign. He's saying, I ain't going anywhere. I don't get it. But this guy, Matt Shea, off the chain. That's all I can tell you. Off the chain. I don't understand how this kind of stuff goes on. And it seems like all that's happening is they're investigating. FBI is investigating, and they got reports. And that's it. They're telling him,
Where is he going to resign?
No. He said, no, I ain't going anywhere. I don't understand. I don't know. What y'all think about this one?
White privilege.
Well, now, you said it. You said it in a nutshell.
Never been told no in his life. Been given opportunities up the yin yang for years. And now you're telling me to get rid of his milk and honey that he done buttered over 1,000 times? Come on.
I mean, the man is labeled as a domestic terrorist, but yet you're still a representative for Washington State. That's crazy.
Wow. The people of Washington State need to boot his ass out. That's what they need to do.
But I guess they can't do that until the next election cycle.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. I guess it would take somebody introducing a bill to have a special election or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like I don't know. Seems like nobody's too riled up about it out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm the one incensed by his behavior. But I guess out in Washington, out there, it's the wild, wild west for the most part.
Mhm.
All right.
Continue to follow that story then. See what's going to happen.
Yeah. It sounds to me like he needs to be arrested. You're an enemy of the state, an enemy of the government, of the country, yet you're a representative of the country. That's crazy.
A lot of that.
Maybe they're trying to build a case.
Look at some of the Republican senators. What's their agenda? That guy Jordan, he's a mess.
Yeah.
He's a mess.
He's a lunatic.
Yeah.
I think he really is a lunatic.
Mhm. Trump is like, that's Trump's puppet. Scary. Scary.
All right, we'll move on. Let's see. We're coming to you, Poppa DD. What's going on?
Let's see. We had Uber. Uber is a ride-hailing company. They must pay $4.4 million to settle a sexual harassment case.
Wow.
The ride-hailing company, famously known as Uber.
Uber.
Rolls off your tongue like Elmo. Okay. Ride-hailing company Uber agreed Wednesday to hand over $4.4 million in a settlement with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which has been investigating sexual harassment and other unfair practices in the company since 2017. All right, the sum will go into a class action fund compensating everyone the EOC finds experienced such treatment at the San Francisco-based company since 2014. The investigation fund responsibly calls to believe that Uber permitted a culture of sexual harassment and retaliation against individuals who complained about such harassment. The EOC said this in a statement on Wednesday. In addition to paying the sum, Uber has also agreed to former EEOC Commissioner Fred Arizon to monitor the company for any breaches in behavior for the next 3 years. All right, so the EEOC Commission has launched in 2017 after Susan Flowers, she was a former Uber engineer, wrote a widely criticizing blog saying that the workplace was very toxic. Now, she works in the administrative area of Uber. She said it's mostly all males in there. There's a lot of sexual harassment functions every day. People are commenting, men are talking like they want to, and the arrogancy of the egos of the males that work for the company on a higher level or the actual executive management level are it's a complete mess. So her and a few other people employed with the company in the San Francisco area will join in with this particular money, and they will monitor to see whether or not they dropped the ball on it, and they said they vowed to sue them even further. So I have to stay tuned for that. I never knew that their company was very male chauvinist. A lot of these companies.
That's what they say.
A lot of these companies are started by two college guys that come out of college. You know, yeah. Why don't we start a company? And they call their rich uncle, and their rich uncle fronts them for $5 million. And then they just kind of just put it together from there. So, very interesting. But we'll stay tuned.
All right.
So, that's your people, Uber, right?
I think I'm going to have to kick them to the curb.
I'm more of a Lyft guy myself.
They just had too many different claims going on. You know, women getting in the cars, falling asleep, wake up with somebody on top of you, and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, I saw
happening?
on the news one time that a guy went down to greet his wife getting out of Uber, and he runs out the back seat and runs in the driver's seat and pulls off, and the wife comes out with her pants down out of the back seat.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you.
And I'm sure she had no idea what happened.
I got some real slingers on that joint.
But, people need to be more cautious. You are getting in a car with a stranger.
Yeah, but don't they run a background check on people?
I thought they did.
Yeah, they do. They do. They do a background check, and within the last year or so, I think they've changed companies and they have been more intense as far as the background check. But I guess some crazies do get loose. They get between the them not checking on them, I guess.
Well, I think the other problem is that some people just don't look crazy on paper. If you haven't been caught for the stuff you've been doing, then it doesn't show up anywhere. And if you can get through whatever screening process and sound like a normal, sane person, for those people that are borderline, the temptation sometimes for them is just too much. They're driving somebody home, a female who may be attractive to them, who's passed out. You can tell she's drunk. That's why she's not driving. Somebody called her an Uber and said, look, I'm going to send you home. So they call for an Uber, and the woman is like, completely out of it.
And a lot of them had on, when they went out, they had a little Cinderella dress on anyway from the beginning. So they're sitting there and the cleavage is hanging open, and the little dress they had that was made of linen is wrinkled and pulled up to their thighs, and
all kind of crazy.
Oh yeah.
So for some of these drivers,
but there's no excuse for anybody doing anything.
Right, but I'm saying some of these drivers are looking in the rearview mirror like, oh my goodness, she's so out of it, she won't know.
I might as well really hit it for a minute, and
But to me, it goes both ways. If I'm hanging out with some friends, and I put you into an Uber, and I know you're intoxicated, I'm either going to ride with you to get where you have to go, or you shouldn't go in that particular Uber, especially if it's a male.
There's no, right, because it's not when they reach you're right, Ketel, because when they reach a destination, you're relying on the Uber employee to, carry them up the steps of their apartment?
Yeah, or help her out of the car or something.
No, not really.
What I would do. Well, I tell you myself though. I mean, if I was an Uber driver and they put somebody drunk in my car, and I had to set them up there I had to help them up to their apartment and things like that, and get their keys, open the door. I'd go in the kitchen and cut me a slice of cake or something before I left. You know what I mean?
You'd be in there looking for a snack.
Yeah, I would mess with the person. I throw the person on the couch and let them sleep it off. But in the meantime, I go in the kitchen and cut me a slice of cake or something, get a glass of milk, then I leave with a slice of cake, glass of milk.
Make a sandwich or something, right?
Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take that long. But I would take some cookies out.
But then too, Uber should make it also that the driver should be able to reject the rider. So it should go both ways. But I know they have something they just put into place recently that certain I'm not sure how they're determining which trips, but certain trips is going to have a 5 code that the customer has to give to the driver to proceed with the ride. So say, for instance, that person is not able to give that 5 code, guess what? You're not going nowhere. So I think this is some precautions they're using because they were talking about the sexual assault, like you said in the article, and, women have really complained. And, I mean, for them to have to go through this lawsuit, they have to do something. They have to, do something different. So this is what they've started.
But that code is only going to verify that you're in the right car, right?
Correct. But say that person is intoxicated, you can't give that 5 code. You SOL. You're not going nowhere. The driver won't proceed.
I mean, if your friend calls the car for you, and when the driver gets there, your friend gives them the code, so you verify that this is the right vehicle that's taking your friend to the right place, then somebody else who's able could have put that code in. So I'm just saying, it seems like that code is just another layer of, is this the right driver? Is this the right rider?
Right.
But that's not going to stop a driver from violating somebody, or vice versa. Because there have been cases where the passenger attacked the driver.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't heard of any sexual ones, but just, violently hit the person or, whatever, grab and choke them, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a risky business.
That it is.
Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
I hope these people actually get some money to, try to, I don't know, make up for the trauma they went through.
Yeah.
Hopefully the lawyers won't get too much.
Yeah, well, it's a class action, so they can add up to 300-400 people on that thing and then chop up everybody like they did at
Everybody end up with $5.
remember Denny's? Everybody across America got a check that was like $2.75.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Crazy.
A lot of people in the hood, they thought they were gonna buy a house with that money. Yeah, I'm gonna put that down in down payments when I get my Denny's
I'm gonna buy
check.
a car.
I get my Denny's check. That check was
chump change.
$3.95.
Oh well, if you want to get in on the conversation tonight, hit us up at 914-803-4306 and press 1. And you can also listen online at apajamaparty.com. Check us out, tell a friend. Let's see, we're going to take a quick beverage break, and we'll be right back, right, with the Hit It and Quit It headlines on the Pajama Party Show. Be right back.
Living just enough for the city.
Okay, but why are we doing Stevie Wonder? I thought we were doing Pajama Party.
Well, I was talking about my little one of my segments of Living for the City.
Join the party.
Now you ride me.
That's every Friday night at 9. Pajama Party. No clothes allowed.
Ketel and Redwine step on my parade. I had the mic first. And they're coming in just trying to,
It's my turn.
She's going to sing.
What number to call?
Yeah, call us at
803
914-4306.
and press 1.
And press 1 to be put into the queue. And say what you have to say. You can read off what we're talking about and come up with a new subject of your own. We're easy. We're liberal. We're easy. Eastern time. We're here at 9 p.m. Friday nights. That's 6 o'clock on the West Coast. And maybe 7 o'clock in the mountains or in the
7 in the mountains.
Around Michigan and New Orleans and all that. We're like an hour back.
Yeah,
but 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
9:15 CP time.
CP time, 9:15.
Don't be late when you listen to us. It's 9 o'clock on the dot.
That's right. Every Friday night.
We'll see you there.
Goodbye.
All right, welcome back to the Pajama Party. I'm one of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm your Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling. It's time for the Hit It. And what we going to do? Quit?
Quit it.
All right. Hit It and Quit It headline. So I'm going to kick it off tonight with the former French telecom executives are getting some jail terms for harassment. But this story is really interesting because it's not the type of harassment that we usually hear about. This had to do with, I guess you would call it like institutional harassment. A French court on Friday found the former CEO and other executives at a telecom company called Orange guilty of institutional harassment after the company was rocked by dozens of suicides during a vast corporate restructuring. So in the ruling, which is like the first of its kind against a blue-chip French company, presiding judge Cécile Louis Loyant said managers used forbidden methods to create a climate of anxiety in reaching the goal of cutting 1 in 5 jobs. So that's why folk were tripping. They said we're gonna cut one in every 5 jobs is getting cut. A total of 22,000 jobs were cut within 3 years. So everybody was walking around like, oh my God, is it me? Is it going to be me next? So 35 employees at the former state monopoly took their own lives. Are you getting that? 35 people took their own lives. And that was in 2008 and 2009. And this sparked a demand for action against what they called moral harassment by bosses who ruthlessly, bottom line people and weren't concerned about their well-being. So ex-chief Didier Lombard was given a 1-year prison sentence over this, with 8 months of it suspended. So what's that? 4 months. So he's only going to do 4 months in jail, with a maximum of 15,000 euros, which is about $16,700 in American currency. And his former deputy and human resource director, Olivier Barbereau, received the same sentence and had to pay 75,000 euros. And 4 other executives were charged with being complicit in moral harassment. So they were saying that these defendants were also ordered to pay a combined 3 million euros to the plaintiffs' families, the families of these employees who committed suicide. And it went on to say during the trial, Lombard denied that management had any responsibility for these people's death. And even though he told managers that he would get people to leave one way or the other, either through the door or through the window. And that's what the man said. So you did have one person who actually did go out of a 5th-floor window in front of their coworkers, took their own life in that manner. This stuff is crazy. So I don't know about you all, but I've never heard of institutional harassment. We always hear about sexual harassment. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that. But for this person who jumped out of the 5th-floor window in front of some of their colleagues, people left notes to talk about how unhappy they were. But I'm just saying, I've never heard of anything like that, where you had 35 people took their own lives in one company within a span of 2 years. You know something is wrong. So I'm going to put this company and these executives, the company is called Orange, like the color. I'm going to put them on the kiss it.
So where is this company at?
This is in France.
Maybe something going on in the air and the water. Well, what type of company is it?
It's a telecom company.
Okay.
So some kind of telecommunications. But yeah, that's what was going on with that.
That's
so they harassed those people and basically told them, look, 1 in 5 of y'all is getting ready to lose a job. And people just, didn't handle it well in the way that the managers were threatening and harassing people. People start taking their own lives. That's crazy. All right, I'm going to quit it. Over to you, Poppa DD.
All right, we got a... Oh, wow. Federal studies confirmed that, this ain't the first time I heard this, that there's racial bias in the face recognition system.
Oh, yeah.
And that's been going on just like when you wash your hands in the bathroom with automatic sinks. They really can't read the brown skin too tough, so nobody ever went back and changed it. So it seemed like,
It's a setup.
Anyway, a federal study released Thursday shows that facial recognition technology used by law enforcement to misidentify people of color more often than white people. All right. The Washington Post reported a study conducted by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the federal labs that developed the standard in emerging technology found that Asians and African American people were up to 100 times more prone to be placed falsely identified than their white counterparts. All right. The study also found that when it came to searching police investigations, they used while this was all being set up, they set up a program where they facial recognition on 1 million people. Now, who kept track of all the people? But the test kind of failed because it didn't really recognize people. It scanned it by the people of color, and they just didn't want to go through with it. They say, you know what, we got to clean this up. You know, you got to do something. Facial recognition don't just pop out anymore. It's an entity. It really is.
But that's dangerous. Because if they're misrecognizing people, you know, you could be going through the airport and they pull you out because facial recognition said you're the person wanted for, you know, crime XYZ. And now you have to spend your time, miss your flight, trying to prove that you are not the person that they're looking for. No, well, ain't nobody got time for that stuff.
Mm-mm.
So what are they saying?
No, they're saying this is a problem that they've been well of for a long time. And they thought it would subside itself with the different shades of people in the world, but it's still been aggressively wrong. And it's just been leaked out by a so-called whistleblower that says that, you know, they notice they're seeing the numbers are always geared toward African American and Asians. Something about the skin is just, white people can almost go in like they're invisible. So it's very interesting.
So that tells me that it's designed to work for white people.
Well, you actually,
and everybody
I think
else
the main thing behind it is that it needs a foundation to breed off of. You know what I mean? I think when it hits a whiter complexion or a true white person with a pink pigment, it does not, you know, there's no foundation. Just like painting the walls in the house, you got to trim and you got to, you know what I mean? Once you trim and you throw 2 coats on the wall, you say, wow. But that wall now is fortified with 2 coats and a solid. Now you can identify it strong. But people of color are born with that. What do you call it? What do you call different upgrades of paint? Yeah, they're born with a
built-in base coat.
Yeah, well, they're base coat, and also they're semi-gloss already, as opposed to flat. So semi-gloss is going to pick up the background a little more, you know. So very interesting.
Well,
and it's the opposite too when it comes to the water fountains in the bathroom. Because now the water fountains in the bathroom, they work now because more on white people than blacks. It's the other way around. Because when blacks do it, it isn't really seeing an object. But white people come in like ghostly, and now the machine, the faucet sees the reflection and it's like, or it just sees the.
Yeah, because it was set up to look for that color or that type of hue or something. So anything that was not that color, it's like, oh, I don't see you. That's why you're waving your hand back and forth and the water won't come on. Okay.
Yes, that happens a lot.
Wow. All right.
That's black folks leave with dirty hands then. Okay.
Or wait for a white person to turn the water on and you jump in behind them.
It's getting rough out here.
Excuse me, ma'am, could you wave your hand right here for a second before you go? Thank you.
It's getting rough out here. All right, well, let me get into this last article. This one's interesting. It's very interesting. A radio show was canceled after a host said what? This is a Denver conservative radio show has been canceled after one of the hosts wished for a nice school shooting. Crazy. A nice school shooting to break up the coverage of the President Donald's impeachment. The host, his name is Chuck Bonnewell, to put him on the Kiss It list, Bonniwell, was opening a segment of the Chuck and Julie show on Tuesday when he said they will be discussing the never-ending impeachment of Donald Trump. So his wife co-host, which is Julie Hayden, laughed before Bonnewell added, "You know you wish for a nice school shooting to interrupt the monotony."
Oh,
No,
boy.
no, don't even say that. No, don't even say that. Hayden said, "Don't call us." Chuck didn't say that. Bonnewell immediately said which one would be hurt. The radio station is 710 KNUS called Bonnewell's comment inappropriate. In a statement posted on Wednesday, the show would be canceled immediately, the statement said. Given the history of school violence that has plagued our community, 710 KNUS confirms that inappropriate comment was made on the Chuck and Julie show. A programming decision was made to end the program immediately. Kudos for that particular radio station. So, in another statement posted on their Facebook page on Thursday, Hayden and Bonnewell said they would said he would unsay the inappropriate comment if he could. As parents of a child in elementary school, they worry about school shootings and his safety as well. Well, why would you say something like that? You have a child in school.
Even if you didn't, why would you say something that ridiculous?
Yes. That is just crazy.
All right, I got him on the kiss it list. Chuck Bonnewell.
Yes. And I'm glad that radio station made a decision to cancel it immediately. Thank you.
Good.
Kudos to them. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hopefully,
it never ends, does
it? No. Hopefully we won't see him or his wife nowhere. She's part of the problem.
Yeah. Well, you know how they do. They come back with a whole different name of a show, but it's still them. So we'll keep an eye out. We'll just try to remember that name, Bonnewell, if he shows up on some other station or something.
That's an unusual
we need to write to that station and say, write to that station and say, get rid of him. All right. Well, that's it for the Hit It and Quit It headlines. Let's see. We're going to take a break, and we're coming back with Poppa DD. You ready for us, Poppa DD?
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we are coming back with Poppa DD and the Hit It. What's Poppin'?
It's Friday night, and you're listening to the Pajama Party Show Live. Tune in every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, and 6 p.m. Pacific. We push it to the limit every week like only we can. We've got hot topics, Hit It and Quit It headlines, TV and movie reviews, commentaries, and the world's famous Kiss It list. And you don't want to be on the Kiss It list. So visit apajamaparty.com. Check out the cocktail of the week. Get your glass and get your laugh on with the Pajama Party Crew, doing what we do right here with you. Get up on this and push it. Push it real good.
All right, welcome back to the Pajama Party. One of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling. Oh, it's time for What's Poppin'. What's poppin', Poppa DD? I know you got something for us tonight.
Well, you know, there's a lot going on. I tell you, I said we got troubles right here in River City. You know, lately, I have had the strangest feelings, with no vivid reason here to find, but just the thought of losing you has been hanging around my mind. Lately, I've been seeing all kind of things concerning, which is verifying white privilege, if you will, for lack of a better word or lack of a better phrase. I was at an ATM machine a couple of days ago, and I'm standing there waiting for one person to get done. They got done, so I went over. It was my turn. And a lady of a Caucasian persuasion, she got out of her car. And as I was studying what I was going to get and do and what have you, this lady kind of positioned herself right behind me at the ATM machine. Now, it was outside of a bank, so it wasn't nowhere, like a little store or 7-Eleven or whatever. This was in a bank's ATM. I won't say a name because I ain't trying to promote none of them damn bloodsuck bleachers. Anyway, so I'm at the ATM machine. A white lady gets out of the car. She's standing right behind me, and I knew she was close because I could smell her perfume. It had to be like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, so she was off to somewhere because I smelled like the scent of a woman that was, women would throw in the morning the gear on and the eyes and the whatever and the cologne, and I smelled all that. I'm like, what the hell? But what got me is that how close this lady was behind me. And I'm trying to kind of tap my stuff, and I'm hitting for my receipt to go to my email and trying to grab a sum of money that could be quickly concealed and all that jazz and what have you. And I had to say it when I got done. I turned around, and I swear this lady was on my back like a monkey. And it was like, I said, when I turned around, I said, excuse me. Now, as a black man or a man of color, how would you feel if I was that close behind you? And she played it off like, typical political correct statement. What do you mean? Well, I'm not like that. There's not a racist bone on my body. She just started giving me the whole spear on why she wasn't racist and no harm was met, and I didn't realize I was standing that far behind you. I'm just waiting that close behind you. I'm just waiting for the machine and blah, blah, blah. But, she was so close to me, if I would have farted, I would have blew her head off. This is how close she was to me. She was very, very close. And it really pissed me off because, it's so interesting how when you raised with no fear, you have no fear. You approach anything. And the whole world is like an open book to you because you never experienced happen to ride down the street with police behind you, and now you got to get your paranoia on, and is this cop going to pull me over, and what's he going to say, and I don't want to reach in my glove box too fast, and yada, yada, yada. They haven't dealt with none of that. Haven't experienced none of that. Everything they do is like, let me just go ahead and do it. And it's so frustrating because then when people of color come along that was raised nicer and raised more casual with decent parents come along, now they're scared to death of us. I may have just anything that I'm doing, and all of a sudden I'm flagged. I've seen times I'm standing outside the men's room waiting for the door to open if it's a one-person bathroom, and then the ladies' room would have a line, and then a lady would turn fast sort of and kind of see me standing outside the bathroom because I'm waiting in line myself, and they'd be scared to death. They'd just be shaking. It's almost every time a man of color is being seen up close and personal or what have you, if they don't belong there, everybody's freaking out to change up the whole narrative. It just seems like racism is one of the biggest and deepest rooted situations that are like, and you notice it anywhere you go, supermarket, anywhere, anything you do, if you're in a line with 3 Caucasian people and you're a person of color, you just see the aura right there. The narrative changes with everything, the conversation, the movement, the observation. Either you're watching them or they're watching you. And this is like generationally put down that has been engulfed in people that they always, have to be on the side of caution when it comes to a racial situation because everybody's prone and waiting for it because it's so existing. And it's so sad because it has changed the world through the years. Denials and everything. I think back, and I'm going to get off my soapbox here in a minute. I think back in the year when a young lady from Philadelphia was pitching in the Little League World Series, and she made, such history and all that. But the backstory on that whole thing was the team from Chicago that won the championship. They ended up losing the international championship to the Asian Jokers as usual, but they won the domestic title. And once they got back to Chicago with a trophy and everything, all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, somebody done shook down the whole team to see where they were living and claimed that they had to forfeit the trophy and the win and everything and get an asterisk by their name in the history book because they all weren't from the city of Chicago. Some were from surrounding suburban areas. Now, what Caucasian isn't from a surrounding suburban area? But the biggest thing on that is who took the time to investigate them beautiful black children from Chicago that won the Little League World Series that year. They won it fair and square. They lost the international one to the Asians, to the Japanese, but they run the whole domestic thing, but had to give up their money, give up the crown, give up everything, because they claim a couple of them weren't living in the city of Chicago, living in a suburban area outside the city. Now, whoever did that, whoever took the time to investigate that, to make them lose their trophy only because they beat a white team, it's just, that year was a mess. The only thing we got out of that year was the girl that was pitching and her thing, but no, the other aspect that happened with the black team, it went they announced it, but nobody focused on it because they wanted to slide through. And the people were happy to turn the kids in. They were happy. Their team lost, so they figured, hey, they lost their trophy, so the hell with them. The lack of concern for black people is just unbelievable. You have to stop and think, whew. I mean, I'm gonna leave that alone, but just think about it, man. They lost. Instead of going back to Louisiana or where they came from, Kentucky, you're gonna get with your people and y'all gonna investigate every name of the child on that team and see where they're actually living. Nobody investigated where the hell you were living. That was some cold-blooded stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Okay. Those are very good points, though. I remember that year, and that was rough. To take that away from those children after they worked so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
What do you think about that, Ketel?
It just didn't make any sense to me. Like you said, I hate to talk about things black and white, but that's all it was. They just didn't want those black kids to win nothing,
Yeah.
So could you imagine how those black kids, could you imagine how they feeling now? Like, wow, we want to be a part of history. Now it's like the air just got sunk out of our teeth, so to speak. Yeah.
We're all 14-year-olds at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But now you're going to talk about housing and location, zip codes.
Yeah.
And who the hell?
You're outside the line, so therefore the whole team is disqualified.
The sad part about it is who came up with that scam and who approved it. Like I was talking to Redwine a couple of days ago about a situation with that. When you see something adverse on TV, some advertisement that is just weird, the two elements is like, who decided on that and who approved that? You ever see some commercials that are just like off the chain with complete weirdness? You'd be like, who came up with it and who the hell approved it? I mean,
because you got to have both parts.
That's rampant today. I've seen commercials that just make my mouth drop. I'd be like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you, Poppa DD.
Yeah,
that was What's Poppin' for tonight. Let's see. Do we want to go right into the weird news, or shall we take a break? What say you?
I think Ketel might need some ice around this time.
Oh, okay.
Take a CC break.
All
take
right.
a CC break.
All right. And when we come back, Ketel, we're going to you first. For the weird news. All righty. We'll be right back with the weird news on the Pajama Party Show.
Hey, this is Ketel with the yellow top. I'm waiting to hear from you tonight. I'm at the Pajama Party Live. So you can reach us at 914-803-4306, or you can check us out on apajamaparty.com. I've got my opinions, but I want to hear yours. Poppa DD and Redwine are trying to beat me down, so I need you to call back and back me up. I know you're out there.
I can hear you breathing. So call me now. 914-803-4306. I'm right here on WBJP Blog Talk Radio, waiting to hear from you. Here they come. I gotta go.
All right, welcome back to the Pajama Party. One of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling. It is now time for the weird news. This is where we find some weird articles out there we want to share with you. So, Ketel, you can kick it off tonight. What do you have in the weird category for us?
Okay. This is an interesting one. Who's there? A Georgia family discovers an owl in a Christmas tree. In Atlanta, a Georgia family got a real hoot from its Christmas tree. More than a week after they bought it, they discovered a live owl nestled among its branches. Katie McBride Newman said that she and her daughter spotted the bird by December the 12th. They had a whole week. They had what the 10-foot tall tree from a Home Depot. Brought it back to their Atlanta home and decorated it with lights and, all that stuff. And they had some owl ornaments.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, they said it was surreal, but we weren't really freaked out about it. They said that we're really outdoorsy people and we love the wilderness. How crazy is that? You know what color they were. I don't need to say.
I know my people would have opened the nearest window and thrown that thing right outside.
Shoot,
the whole
tree
ran outside. Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know how an owl can live in a tree in your house for a week and you don't know it.
Mm.
They thought they were one of the ornaments, I guess.
They never heard it?
That's a good question. You would think, well, I guess they'd come out at night, I guess. You know anything about owls, Papa?
No, I know that I probably would have kept it as a pet and trained it to do some America's Best commercials.
Oh, my God.
Or something,
That's a crazy commercial.
And what's the other one? What's the other owl with the robe on?
That's a travel something.
Travelocity?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. In other weird news, Air New Zealand is testing edible coffee cups. Ew. It says, what's better than a nice warm cup of coffee? If you ask Air New Zealand, the answer is following that cup of coffee with the sweet taste of cup. New Zealand's national carrier is experimenting with a new edible coffee cup to further reduce waste produced on board the flight. Although they had already made a big switch to biodegradable cups on their planes and in their lounges, they're beginning to look at offering even more eco-friendly options. So to do this, the airline collaborated with New Zealand-based company Twice, that's two I's, Twice, a family-run business dedicated to making edible plant-based cups that taste as good as being good to the earth feels. The cups are being rolled out on Air New Zealand flights and are vanilla-flavored and can withstand the heat of the coffee without melting. Air New Zealand Customer Experience Manager Nikki Chavez says the airline serves 8 million cups of coffee on board its planes annually, and so far the customers that tested the cups have given it a thumbs up. The founder, Jamie Cashmore, the co-founder of Twice, says the firm is also working on an expanded line of edible plates and dishes, which could also work for Air New Zealand once they can be produced at scale. So I guess they can only make them like miniature size now. But once they can do them in scale, I guess they're going to roll us out too. I don't know how I feel about an edible cup.
I guess it's like a K-cup. Just pop it in your mouth.
Yeah, but a K-cup is plastic. This thing is vanilla flavored. I guess I wonder if it's sort of like
a breezy cup. I mean, it's like a K-cup, but it's edible. That's what I mean. So.
Yeah, but still, the idea of drinking a cup of coffee or tea and then eat the cup afterward, I don't know about that. Would you do it?
Something different? What the hell?
Yeah, okay. Miss, I'll try anything once. Would you do it, Poppa DD?
Yeah, once.
At least once?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Look, let's
over to you,
clean up.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. I want to save the planet, but I really don't want to eat the cup. All right, Poppa DD, over to you.
Okay, pranksters were charged after home and cars were covered in cheese slices. This happened in Girard, Pennsylvania. A man and two teenage boys were allegedly who allegedly covered two cars and a home with cheese slices are facing disorderly conduct charges. Pennsylvania State Police say that the prank occurred in Girard early Saturday, but it's not clear what motivated it.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know.
The names of the three suspects is a 17-year-old Girard boy and two Lake City residents, ages 17 and 18. They have not been arrested yet. Authorities said they admitted to their involvement in the prank, but they have no further word on the suspects. They're not elaborating at all. I'm trying to figure out how this cheese was on this car. What?
I'm thinking they must not have paid for that cheese.
Cheese slices at that.
Expensive.
Yeah, they probably stole it from somewhere and then put the cheese slices on there.
But on cars and houses?
Yeah, I guess
that's so weird. I don't even understand, who thought that up? They must have been doing something. And got their head all messed up and said, I know what, let's cover this car with cheese slices. Oh, boy. Well, that's why it's the weird news. All right. Well, thank you for that one. Let's see. We're going to go right into I'm Just Saying. I'm ready.
You're ready.
If there are no objections, let's see.
Go right ahead, Redwine.
All right. Well, kind of following up on what Papa was talking about. But
you copying my style?
No, I had already planned what I was going to talk about, so it's just coincidental, mind you. But I'm just saying tonight where you passed over or passed on. Now, this story is about a white secretary from a Pittsburgh public school system is alleging that she is the victim of reverse racism. Okay? She says she's the victim of reverse racism. Her name is Kristen Frankovich. She's the chief executive secretary who worked for the school district since 2007. Well, Miss Kristen has filed a racial discrimination suit yesterday, and according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, she claims that every position she's held that she has been consistently passed over for raises, promotions, and other advancement opportunities in favor of less experienced African-American employees. So I'm just saying now, was she really passed over or was she just passed on? Now, her lawsuit says going back to 2012, the school district awarded a position of an acting accounting clerk to a less experienced and less qualified black temporary employee instead of giving it to her. That's what she says. And in 2014, she said that the same school district hired a black employee into her vacated position and increased their person's pay by $4,800. So she's saying when she had the job, she wasn't making what this black person made when they gave them the job, that they gave the black person $4,800 more. So she's saying she didn't get any raises when she had the same position. And in 2015, she's saying that her workload increased, but she didn't get any more money. But then when a black person had a job, same position, doing the same type of work, they didn't have the level or the quantity of work, and they were getting promoted. So she says that all this evidence shows the discrimination against her and possibly others like her, which is, she means other white people. But it's interesting that she doesn't seem to be aware or know for a fact if this so-called reverse discrimination impacted any other white people in the school district. It appears that she only looked at the plates of other black folks that she deemed unworthy of advancement that they were offered. And it's the same sort of assumption that people use against affirmative action, for example, in college admissions. When a black person is admitted or given a position, people say, oh, it's only because they were black. I'm just saying, did it ever occur to Miss Frankovich that maybe the problem is her? Is it possible that they passed over her because of her attitude or maybe her performance? Maybe she was just passed on. A manager could have reviewed her record and just said pass on her. But that seems to be too hard for her to swallow in the land of privilege for her people, for white people. Let me just be blunt. She just might be getting a big old helpful plate, a heaping plate, of what black people have been having to eat for years in the job market. Now, I'm not condoning unfair treatment of anybody, but I'm just saying, when that plate is served, it wasn't very tasty to Miss Kristen. So I got no tears for her, is what I'm saying. I don't have any tears for her. If that's what happened, then oh well. Take a number, get in line. This is Redwine, and I'm just saying, sometimes you get passed over, and sometimes you get passed on. But passed was the operative word. Apparently, Miss Kristen, what's her name, Frankovich, apparently they just didn't want you. That's all I'm saying. Kristen Frankovich.
I guess you're going to put on the kiss of this, huh?
You know I am. Crying reverse racism. I just feel like if all of those things happen, then something's going on with her.
You have a good point there.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm putting her on the list right now. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we're coming back with Poppa DD and what is it? Living for the City on the Pajama Party Show. You can call us at, what's the number, Ketel?
914-803-4306 and press 1.
And press 1. That's all you got to do. We'll be right back with Poppa DD and Living for the City.
This is the Pajama Party coming to you live. What's on your mind? Call us on 914-803-4306. Got an opinion or just want to say hello to the crew? Hello! You know what to do. Call 914-803-4306. If you just want to listen to the show online, go to www.apajamaparty.com and click the banner in the upper right corner. But if you want to talk to the crew, you need to call us on 914-803-4306 and press 1. We'll get to your call as soon as possible. It's nothing but fun and a pillow fight every Friday night at the Pajama Party. And remember, PJs only, no clothes allowed. Now back to the crew and more of the Pajama Party. Bartender, another round for the house. Thank you, darling.
Hi, welcome back to Pajama Party. One of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darlings. Bonsoir. It is time for Living for the City with Poppa DD. What you got for us tonight, Poppa DD?
Well, I tell you, we should know that crazy people are crazy people, just right off the bat. And what 45 is showing, what Trump is showing. Now, can you imagine a world, now just peep this for a minute, because I'm not going to hang on this too long, but now Putin just sent in a message over to America saying he supports, he backed up Donald Trump and all this madness and everything. Now, you ever think that Trump is being led by Putin? Because, see, in the Caucasian world, it's always the one with the most toys wins. And this is why Trump and Putin are so, they both agree to take care of one another. Well, I seen the other day where he just pumping money to them, they pumping money to them, and it's just one big old fest, But could you imagine Trump defecting after his term is over and becoming a Russian citizen and transferring all his money and stuff over there and being against the United States? I mean, you have to think about it, because we've had World War I and II and the Korean War and the Spanish-American War, and it's just been ruthless killing for whatever reason. Who knows? But Trump has all the gimmicks, and everybody's listening to him. So, I'll tell you, I'm not going to give it too much because I just been thinking about that. And then the way he jumped on the evangelist people, his religious base, where God was honest finally and said something about Trump, and Trump was like, "Oh, you're blah blah blah." I think he said you're failing. Yeah, that publication's failing. They won't do well. They won't do well. Everything has got to be done well in order for them to come back. This is really interesting. I wouldn't even call it sad. It's just interesting how he's sitting back now. He's still worried about this impeachment. That's not even funny. Because they don't really know the people in the Senate. The House is draped with Democrats, but the Republican Senate is lily white all day. And you got a couple blacks in there that are pointing fingers at other people. I mean, it's just, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Nobody knows what these next couple of years are going to bring. And like one gentleman said, if Donald Trump gets impeached, then Pence will be taking his place.
Yeah, how scary is that?
And this guy, it's almost like Trump went around to find what he considered the most purest people. And you can't go game with I just see something very interesting coming on the back end 10 years from now, where Trump is like, he's all into he'd be all into the American stuff, because I think Trump's going to sell us down the river. I mean, he's arrogant as hell, and imagine when something really comes up, he hits that tweet for real, Scary. Very scary.
You're right.
Anyway, I'll leave it alone.
Okay. That was a lot to think about.
Yeah, we can cross over and transferring that money is no big deal with the wire services they got today. He become a citizen of the USSR, and they plot to blow us up. You never know.
Yeah, you never know what he's thinking. I don't even think he knows what he's thinking.
That's your boy.
All right. Let's see, Ketel. Gonna switch gears. You ready for the celebrity news Hollywood wrap up?
We can take a little CC break. That time.
Okay. Yeah, Pop in the background talking trash. All right. Well, let's do that. We'll take a quick break, and let's see. The number again is 914-803-4306. You can give us a call tonight. Yep, press 1. Get in on the conversation. We're going to take a break, and then we're coming back with the Hollywood wrap-up with Ketel.
So I was looking over the Cocktail of the Week archives, and we've had so many really great drinks over the past year and a half.
We've had our original signature drink called the Pajama Party and a Game Changer, and of course we have the last word.
I like the Revolution. It was Hennessy, lemon and lime juice, agave juice, and bitters with jalapeno slices.
Woo-wee! I like that Crown Royal Flush with the Crown Royal, peach schnapps, and cranberry juice.
Oh yeah. And one of my favorites was the
what's it called? The Dutch Mule, yeah, the Dutch Mule with the Ketel orange vodka, lime juice, and ginger beer. There are so many to choose from on the apajamaparty.com website.
So check out the Cocktail of the Week archives to get the recipes.
And you can find out how to make the cocktail of the week and sip along with us. Are there instructions there too?
Sure they are, along with pictures of the drink so you know exactly what it's supposed to look like.
So what's that y'all got in your glass? This is a boomerang. Well, I got a Kinky Reed over here.
And I got the aviator.
Get the recipes at www.apajamaparty.com and click on Cocktail of the Week. Cheers!
All right, welcome back to Pajama Party. I'm one of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine. Featurette.
Bonsoir, darling.
No frills.
Straight no chasers.
What y'all doing over there?
She's no frills. Remember?
Not a thing.
I don't know how old you guys are, but there used to be a term back in the day called no frills in the supermarket. It was like what people call now generic, but back in Philadelphia years ago, there was a section, a couple aisles called no frills, had no name on it. Mm-hmm. This stuff was just like grayed out. It was just white and black like items, you know, same thing you buy every day, but it said no frills and it was cheap. So every time you look in people's carts, they had regular stuff to eat, but everybody had about probably like $6-7 worth of no frills stuff. It's crazy.
I've never seen that before.
Never heard the term no frills?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
I'll take your word for it. All right, let's go on out to the West Coast.
I'm working with kids.
Get the Hollywood report from Ketel. What's happening in entertainment world, Ketel?
All right, it's a lot going on, so sit back and relax. Put your seatbelt on. All right, the Super Bowl is coming up. Jennifer Lopez and Shakira are the next Super Bowl halftime show performers. The singers, they took to Twitter on Thursday to share their teasers about their upcoming performances. Each sharing, both of them fine as hell, so they're sharing a sultry picture of each other, complete with a gold Pepsi cuff on Shakira's upper arm and a Pepsi ring on Lopez's finger. Interesting. This is happening on 2/2/20. That's the Super Bowl, February 20th. Lopez and Shakira are the latest megastars to headline the halftime show. They're going to be with Maroon 5, Travis Scott, and Big Bo. Haven't heard from him in a while. They're going to be on the show. They are joining the ranks of other pop stars such as Justin Timberlake. His performance was okay. Lady Gaga was pretty cool. Madonna, and of course, your man Redwine Prince.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the best halftime performances I've ever seen was Prince. I mean, for him to sing
Absolutely.
Purple Rain and it's actually raining, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I would say, other than Michael Jackson, the one that Michael Jackson did, that was awesome, but Prince topped, I think, everybody.
I agree. We're going to see what Shakira and J-Lo going to do. I know they're going to tear it up. And they said that they're not practicing together, but I guess they'll pull it together by that time then. Also, another big deal, why Eddie Murphy's return to SNL after 35 years is such a big deal. They are making it a big deal. And the article goes on to say, it's Gumby, damn it, and he's coming home. So he was a cast member 1980 to 84. He filled in for Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte got sick, so he hosted the show in 82 for him. And so Eddie Murphy is known for characters like Gumby, Mr. Robinson, James Brown. I think Gumby was my favorite. Yeah. But there was I've heard a rumor that he really didn't watch SNL because of David Spade. David Spade Eddie Murphy was boycotting SNL. David Spade had made a joke about his career and his movie. He talked about this Vampire in Brooklyn movie like it wasn't a good movie, and his career was, I guess it was in a joke. It was in a little skit, and they talked about that. So he said ever since then he kind of boycotted SNL. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Is he going to do his Gumby skits, his James Brown, or it's going to be interesting. Because I know the last time he was there on the 40th anniversary, he just came out briefly, said a few words, and he was gone. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. So,
okay.
Also in Hollywood news, well, it's on this side. Hollywood has come to D.C. I did report, I think last week, a couple of weeks ago, Jane Fonda. She's continuing to be arrested for the climate issue here in all over the world. But she is being joined by other actors, Rosanna Arquette and Catherine Keener, Diane Lane, quite a bit of celebrities. They're coming here to D.C. to get arrested, and they smiling. I mean, white folks, they're strange. They're strange. In the pictures, they're smiling to get arrested. I guess, they're standing for a cause.
Right about that.
Yeah, I just don't understand that. But, yep, Jane Fonda, because she has a residence here now, so she says she's going to be here till sometime in January. So we shall see. It's going to be interesting who's going to continue to follow her. I'm quite sure she has her own Twitter feed and everything, but we'll see. And the movies to watch for that are coming out, you got Spies in Disguise. Will Smith. It's an animated movie. Has Will Smith in it. Star Wars. Here we go again. I just don't understand. They keep saying that this is the end of the chapter, but they keep continuing the chapter. Cats. That has array of stars. Idris Elba. Even I don't care for her, but she's I guess. What is her name? Taylor Swift, and a whole array of people are going to be in Cats. Oh, my girl Jennifer Hudson. So I know we have mixed reviews on it, but a lot of people are saying it was not one of the best movies of this year, but we'll see. Also,
yeah, I've been hearing that.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Also, Bombshell, they've gotten like about 6 nominations, different awards. It has to do with the, it has,
I couldn't even tell what that movie was about.
It's the scandal about the network and Channel Fox network, and it has to do Nicole Kidman's in it, Charlene Theron, and Margaret Robbie. She's in it, and it's the like I said, it's the fall of Fox 5, and Charlene Theron, she plays what's the lady's name that just lost her show? Megyn Kelly. She plays Megyn Kelly, and you just have to check it out. But they said it got rave reviews, so it's called Bombshell. So those are the movies to watch in December 2019. But my favorite, I think I'm going to go check out Cats. So we shall see. All right. That's my Hollywood wrap-up.
Okay. Well, thanks for that. Whew. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go see it or not. I might wait till it comes on cable. But we'll see.
Yeah. Cats or Bombshell?
Yeah.
Cat?
Cat.
I'm waiting till it comes on TV.
Oh, boy.
We shall see.
All right. That music tells us it's time for the cocktail of the week. Brought to you by DC Homegrown Entertainment, our parent company. What's the cocktail of the week this week, Ketel?
It's called the Vieux Carré. It's French, and it comes from the French quarters of New Orleans, you guys' place, and it has 1 ounce of Hennessy VSOP privilege, has to be privileged, 1 ounce of rye whiskey, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. You have a splash of Bernardine bitters, a dash of Angostura bitters, and the Pay Charge bitters. So you have 3 types of bitters in this particular drink. Garnished with a lemon twist and a cherry, and this goes into a rocks glass. So you would add all your ingredients to a mixing glass with ice and stir until chill. Strain into a rocks glass and garnish with the lemon twist and the cherry. And that's called the Vieux Carré. That's French. You didn't know. So this drink will be on our website, apajamaparty.com.
All righty. Let's see. Thank you, Ketel. Papa, can you tell us about the Kiss It list?
Yeah, I want to say one thing. You know, Ketel, it's amazing you said that for that drink, because I tell you what, that is a delicious whiskey. VSOP Hennessy privilege.
You wouldn't know.
I don't understand why these rappers and everybody else, they get on TV at these different affairs and they're walking around with a regular bottle of Hennessy in their hand, when Hennessy privilege takes so much different and better. Anyway, oh yeah, that's back when I was a head monster boy. I was trying to get my head right. Hennessy privilege was the choice. Anyway, the kissing list is people that showed their butt over the last week or so. We put them on blast, and we got a song for them. First person we're gonna put on the kissing list is Mitch McConnell with his mechanical mouth. He looks like a
wooden puppet.
A wooden puppet. He looks like a ventriloquist. He's just a mess. Him and his boys. You ever see his cronies stand behind him every time he has a press conference? Those other dead bodies that stand behind him, and they all stood there with their little old mugs and looking all crazy, and then we support the president 100%. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, that's Mr. McConnell. And who else you got there, Redwine?
You got Matt Shea. That's the guy, the representative from Washington State, who is a domestic terrorist who is refusing to resign his position. We also have the Orange Company, the French company called Orange. That's the company that was using industrial terrorism, indirectly causing employees to commit suicide, at least 30 people in 2 years.
Wow.
Because of the way they were firing people and threatening people and harassing people with the threat of being fired and all this crazy stuff. So they're on the Kiss It list, and all of their executives who were part of that. We also have Chuck Bonniwell. That's the man who had the conservative radio show, he and his wife, who was wishing for a good old school shooting to take away the monotony of covering the impeachment.
Impeachment, yeah.
So he's on the list.
Wow.
The 3 teenagers that covered cars with cheese slices at some kind of prank. That's the craziest thing I've heard recently, but they're on the Kiss It list.
Who paid for the cheese?
I don't know who paid for the cheese.
Lord have mercy.
But Kristen Frankovich, that's the white woman who's claiming reverse discrimination because she is the only white person that she could show proof of who got passed over jobs that she claimed black people got. And I'm like, okay, well, if it's just you, then maybe the problem is you. So I'm putting her on the Kiss It list. 45, for continuing to not tell the truth.
It's your boy.
Anybody else, Ketel?
Roger Ketel and Kraft and all of them.
Okay. Let's see. That's it? All right. Well, we have a prize for everybody on this week's Kiss It Listen. Here it is.
My entire ass. Kiss my Irish ass. You better kiss my Irish ass. This world, kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. You can just kiss my ass. Baby, you can just kiss my ass. Oh. You can't kiss my country ass. I said if you got a problem with any of that, you can kiss my natural born redneck to the bone, ever loving country ass. That's right.
All right, welcome back to Pajama Party. I'm one of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel and Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling.
All right.
And it's time for the last word.
The last word.
Yeah, we're down to the last word.
The last word.
Who's going first for the last word tonight?
I tell you what, I'll go.
Okay.
My last word is to watch yourself during these holidays, because people out here robbing people. I've seen on different things, people attacking people at ATM machines. They're doing all kinds of stuff, stealing toys and from tots and different things. They're just going in, and they had an area where they had it all roped off. They were going to surprise kids with toys. Somebody broke in the night before and cleaned out the whole place.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Everybody's just acting the fool. The world is just. It's just, I don't know what people are chasing or what people are doing. It's probably a lot of that's that drug, feeding that drug. Once people are chasing that drug, ain't no telling what they'll do. They'll bust that window and keep it moving, and don't even realize they bust the window and cut their hand all up just to get that little fix. But just be careful out there. Keep your head on a swivel. All right, and happy holidays, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, this is Redwine, and my last word is, anytime you think everybody is coming down on you and that you are the one under attack, and it's always people coming after you and you're being treated unfairly and all of that, if everything seems to be you and only you, the problem probably is you. So do some self-evaluation before you start talking about lawsuits and all of this stuff. And who's discriminating and being unfair. Evaluate yourself and determine, are you the problem or is it really something untoward going on? That's my last word.
Untoward, what does that mean?
Something negative.
You're so intelligent, I swear. I don't even know how you're
whatever.
Even here with us.
Ketel, over to you. What's your last word?
Well, my last word is, sometimes we need to stop and give and be thankful. I say that because those Salvation Army people that are ringing that bell, they're ringing that bell for a reason, to get your attention. And there are people that are less fortunate than us. And if you're able to give, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be pennies, dollars, whatever you can give to that red bell, the Salvation Army. Yep, that's my last word. Happy holidays.
All right.
I agree, Ketel, and I just want to say that I have such a soft spot for that I got to speak on, because coming up years ago, the Salvation Army in a little town I was hanging out in years ago in New Jersey. Man, I got furniture from there, and it was just. Everything was just so authentic. I still have some furniture I got from them years ago. So anytime I go in Walmart and they're out there ringing that bell, I got to peel off some money just on the memory of them jokers helping to furnish the house. You furnish the clothes. I remember when I took a job interview, I went there and was able to get a suit, then put the suit in the dry cleaner to get the job for the interview. And man, the Salvation Army has always hooked me up with everything I needed, anything I needed. It was unbelievable. I can't even. I could just close my eyes and go back to the to late '80s, early '90s, and just wow. Anyway, let me get out of that time frame.
All right. Well, we're going to get on out of here for tonight. We thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll do it again next Friday night. That was our last word, so I guess we'll just say good night.
Yeah, good night. Merry Christmas to everybody. We won't be back until after the
yeah, we'll be after
holiday.
Christmas. So have a happy, safe holiday. Don't go overboard. Stay within your means and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we'll be on the 27th.
27th, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be
All
back
right.
for New Year's. So.
All right, well, we're out of here. Say good night, brother.
Good night.
And Ketel?
Good night.
And bonsoir. Until next Friday night. Happy holidays.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
Is it all over, Rock?
I guess so.
I bid you farewell, arrivederci, sayonara, and all that sort of cheers.
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, good night.
Yabiko. Sana.
I regret to announce this is the end. I'm going now.
Good night, and good luck.
Was it as good for you as it was for me?
Now give me a kiss and say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for attending our show, and good night.
Pajama Party, grown that day, Pajama Party, Pajama Party crew, keep it real for you.